See, when you're religious, probably a Christian, they make you feel that there is God only in a certain building, or you can talk to God only in a certain position. All right, like when you kneel down, or when you lie down on the ground, and when you raise your hands up, close your eyes. When it comes to building, probably in a church, or they make you feel that there is God only when you can find God only when the man of God is there, or you can hear God only through somebody else who calls himself a prophet. This is wrong. The truth is, God is everywhere at all times, doing all things. See, that last part is where people miss it most. I understand God is everywhere. Everything you're seeing around in nature, that's God for you. Every human being you're seeing is God acting as himself, right? And then when it comes to nature, God is nature. All right, just look at the design, the intricacies, that's God there. If you come in contact with nature and you're at one with yourself, you hear God. All right, many people have done inventions just based off of that. The fact that they're able to, the fact that these people are able to come in contact with nature, they discover the truth. God is truth. A good example is Isaac Newton, who was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his head, and he started thinking, that is truth. That's how he came up with the laws of motion. I'm saying, you can find God everywhere. Whatever problem or challenge you're facing, you can find God everywhere. Don't just limit your search or your communication with God to a tiny building or through a person. That's the worst. When you think that God has something important to tell you, but then has to go through somebody else, that's the worst. Or that you can only communicate with God only when certain instruments are playing, thinking that it's only musical instruments that can show you God. Those things can rouse your emotions, certain songs, but that's not God. You know what I'm saying? Can arouse your emotions, put you in a certain mood, but don't forget that you can always find God in all moods. Sometimes during anger, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes during love, during hate. There's God in all these things. You just need to listen. You listen, you get the truth. Many people have jumped from one church denomination to another looking for God, when in reality, what they are running from is falsehood. They find falsehood in one church, they try to jump to the next, hoping that it doesn't have some falsehood. That's the wrong kind of search. The right kind of search is to know that truth is everywhere. It's your own state of mind that has to change to come in sync with it. For instance, a professor sees the words, a professor of mathematics will see numbers everywhere. That's truth. That if you come as a biologist, you won't see those numbers. All right, you won't see those numbers. So that truth is not open to you. So that is how there's truth in everywhere. Everything you're looking for, in every church there's truth. And then there's some level of falsehood. It's not about changing from one denomination to another. It's about finding the truth. And that truth can never be contained in one single thing, one single church, one single denomination, one single message, one single preacher. No, not at all. The truth is everywhere. Now, the part that many people miss is the fact that God is at all times doing all things. And that is the core of spirituality. The moment you understand that, you will understand that you'll come to peace with yourself, knowing that that's God. For instance, if somebody hurts you today, that's God hurting you, but acting as that person. If somebody blesses you, that's God blessing you, but acting as that person. Now, at the end of the day, it boils down to, what is that action of being hurt or being blessed communicating to you? Maybe being blessed means that you should pass it down to somebody else. Maybe you are being blessed because somebody else in future, further down your lineage, needs to be blessed. Same thing with you being hurt. Maybe it's supposed to teach you a lesson. You know what I'm saying? But that's God in all these things. Some people like to call the bad things that affect them negatively as devil. It's fine. But then the good things are God. It's fine. But you should know that if something affects you negatively, that thing is also blessing somebody else. If you lose your job, that position has opened for somebody else. It's blessing for somebody else. That's what it is. Once you understand these two parts of life, you know that that's the same thing. That's the same being executing all these things, the same reality, the same truth, executing all these things.